Have you ever wondered how many times you've walked around the world? Or where your smallest bone is? And what is a Jesus nut? Well, get your answers here, and so much more with these 50 random, fun facts that will actually make your life better. So pull up a chair, get comfortable, and enjoy this awesome list of the top 50 most random and fun facts. 1. Banging your head against a wall for 1 hour burns 150 calories. Alternatively, you can walk your dog for 45 minutes, which also burns 150 calories, and is much less painful. 2. In Switzerland it is illegal to own just one guinea pig. This is because guinea pigs are social animals, and they are considered victims of abuse if they are alone. Why isn't this a law everywhere? 3. Tyrannophobia is the fear of being tickled by feathers. It's also a fear of feathers themselves. The word tero is the Greek word for feather, and phobia is also Greek, meaning fear. 4. Snakes can help predict earthquakes. They can sense a coming earthquake from 75 miles away, 121 kilometers, up to 5 days before it happens. 5. A flock of crows is known as a murder. Some might say that a group of 2 crows is an attempted murder. 6. The oldest your mom joke was discovered on a 3,500-year-old Babylonian tablet. It was discovered in Iraq in 1976, however since then the tablet has been lost, but the text remains preserved. 7. So far, 2 diseases have successfully been eradicated, smallpox and rinderpest. The last naturally occurring case of smallpox was diagnosed in October 1977, and the last case of rinderpest was diagnosed in 2001. 8. 29th May is officially Put a Pillow on Your Fridge Day. This strange holiday spans back to the early 1900s, where families would place a piece of cloth in their larders. It's celebrated in Europe and the USA to bring luck and wealth to the household. 9. Trophobia is an irrational fear of fun or happiness. That's one phobia I wouldn't like to have. It would probably mean they would fear these fun facts. 10. 7% of American adults believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. I know 7% doesn't sound like a lot, but that actually works out at 16.4 million American adults. Sounds like a lot now, right? 11. If you lift a kangaroo's tail off the ground it can't hop. Kangaroos use their tails for balance whilst hopping, so if you elevate their tail, they would have no balance and fall over. 12. Bananas are curved because they grow towards the sun. Bananas go through a process called negative geotropism. Instead of growing towards the ground, they start growing towards the sun. The fruit grows against gravity, which gives the banana its familiar curved shape. 13. Billy goats urinate on their own heads to smell more attractive to females. Billy goats, or bucks is a name given to male goats. Generally they urinate on themselves in late summer through fall, and for humans, it's not a pleasant smell. 14. The inventor of the Frisbee was cremated and made into a Frisbee after he died. Walter Frederick Morrison invented the Frisbee in 1948, which was originally called the Pluto platter. In 2010, at age 90 he died and his family cremated him and turned his ashes into the Frisbee. 15. During your lifetime, you will produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. An average human produces between 1 to 2 liters of saliva each day, which is a maximum of 730 liters per year. The average life expectancy is just over 70 years, which gives a maximum of 51,100 liters of saliva produced on an average lifetime. This is more than enough to fill 2 swimming pools. 16. If Pinocchio says my nose will grow now, it would cause a paradox. This is known as Pinocchio's paradox. If you think about it, Pinocchio's nose would have to grow to make his statement not a lie, but then it can't grow otherwise the statement would not be a lie. 17. Polar bears could eat as many as 86 penguins in a single sitting. if they didn't live at opposite ends of the Earth. Polar bears live in the Arctic, whereas penguins usually live in Antarctica. 18. King Henry VIII slept with a gigantic axe beside him. This wasn't the only lethal weapon he owned. King Henry VIII had a huge collection of weapons, which included 6,500 handguns. 19. Movie trailers were originally shown after the movie, which is why they were called trailers. The problem with the trailers showing after the film was that audience wouldn't stay around to watch them, making the trailers rather ineffective. 20. An eagle can kill a young deer and fly away with it. Never underestimate an eagle. 21. Heart attacks are more likely to happen on a Monday. Okay, this isn't exactly a fun fact, but it is interesting. Heart attacks are increased by 20% on Mondays. The most common time for them to happen is between 4 to 10 a.m. 22. Tennis players are not allowed to swear when they are playing in Wimbledon. Because of this, line judges have to learn curse words in every language so they know when a player has violated the rules. 23. In 2017, more people were killed from injuries caused by taking a selfie than by shark attacks. There was only 5 deaths due to shark attacks in 2017, which is lower than the average year. The average amount of deaths caused by sharks is 6. Worldwide, there was 35 deaths caused by taking selfies in 2017. 24. The top 6 foods that make your fart are beans, corn, bell peppers, cauliflower, cabbage and milk. It's probably best if you avoid eating any of these if you're going on a date. You'll probably like to know some fun facts about these foods that make you poop. 25. There is a species of spider called the hobo spider. Most bites from the hobo spider, Tigonaria agrestis, happen when the spider is accidentally crushed or squeezed by a human. 26. A lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away. To be more specific, a lion can roar as loud as 114 decibels, which is roughly 25 times louder than a gas-powered lawnmower. If you like this fun fact, check out our clothing over at the Fact Shop. A lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away t-shirt. 27. St. Lucia is the only country in the world named after a woman. St. Lucia was discovered by the French after they were shipwrecked on the island. They arrived on December 13th, which is the feast day of St. Lucy, hence why they named it St. Lucia. If you're planning a vacation, why not check out these random fun facts about St. Lucia? 28. A baby spider is called a spiderling. Spiders aren't cute, but this name kind of is. Spiderling is the official name for mature spiders. On top of that, spiderlings are often born in groups of thousands. 29. The United States Navy has started using Xbox controllers for their periscopes. You read that right, because the control stick for periscopes is so complicated, using Xbox controllers reduces the learning time from hours to minutes. 30. The following can be read forward and backwards. Do geese see God? This sentence is what is called a palindrome. The word itself is from the Greek palin meaning back, and dromos meaning direction. 31. A baby octopus is about the size of a flea when it is born. You would think this would make them hard to spot, however, since eggs are laid by the tens of thousands, it would be hard to miss a massive cluster of pea-sized octopuses. 32. A sheep, a duck and a rooster were the first passengers in a hot air balloon. You read that right. In 1783, the first hot air balloon was launched carrying a sheep, duck, and a rooster. The flight lasted for 8 minutes before landing safely with its passengers. 33. In Uganda, around 48% of the population is under 15 years of age. Of the 41 million inhabitants, nearly half of those are youths. If you were to expand the age to just 30, that brings the percentage up to 77%. 34. The average male gets bored of a shopping trip after 26 minutes. Meanwhile, women don't get tired of shopping until around 2 hours. So next time you see a couple at a retail store with a bored-looking boyfriend, you know they've been out for more than half an hour. 35. In the 16th century, Turkish women could initiate a divorce if their husbands didn't pour coffee for them. Today, this would be unheard of. But back then, coffee was an integral part of Turkish society. So much so, that it was grounds for divorce. No one knows why exactly this was acceptable, but the fact remains that it was. 36. Recycling one glass jar saves enough energy to watch television for 3 hours. Yup, that's how important recycling is. The average person has the chance to recycle 25,000 cans in their lifetime. That's 75,000 hours of television. 37. After the premiere of 16 and Pregnant, teen pregnancy rates dropped. MTV may not have the most wholesome programs, but after the premiere of this show, teen pregnancy dropped by 5.7% within 18 months of the show airing. 38. Approximately 10 to 20% of U.S. power outages are caused by squirrels. Harmless and cute as they seem, these fuzzy little creatures aren't as innocent as you think. Squirrels have a tendency of chewing the wires, but luckily it's a simple fix. 39. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all banned in China. Those aren't the only ones either, over 8,000 domain names are blocked. Other major banned social network sites include Pinterest and Tumblr. 40. 95% of people text things they could never say in person. Are you guilty of this? I know I am. 41. Honeybees can recognize human faces. Whereas before it was thought that only large-brained mammals could distinguish faces, but honeybees can do this as well. They see faces in a compilation of 5,000 individual images, kind of like pixels. 42. The Battle of Hastings didn't take place in Hastings. The famous Battle of Hastings actually took place 7 miles from Hastings in a town that is today known as Battle. Fitting, right? You may also like these fun facts about the Battle of Hastings. 43. While trying to find a cure for AIDS, the Mayo Clinic made glow-in-the-dark cats. This is due to their use of a specific protein that was fluorescent green. They used this protein to find out if their tests worked. If the animal glowed, the outcome was successful. 44. A swarm of 20,000 bees followed a car for 2 days because their queen was stuck inside. When the car parked, the thousands of bees swarmed onto the car and had to be taken off by beekeepers. The next day, the bees were back on the car because the queen was still inside and the swarm had to be taken off again. 45. Nearly 3% of the ice in Antarctic glaciers is penguin urine. Because the temperature in the Antarctic is well below zero, the urine can't evaporate and just combines with the glaciers. 46. Bob Dylan's real name is Robert Zimmerman. Yep, his full name is Robert Alan Zimmerman. He started going by Bob Dylan early on in his career for no real reason. Simply because he wanted to. 47. A crocodile can't poke its tongue out. Because their tongues are attached to the roof of their mouths, crocodiles cannot stick their tongues out, although their very similar counterparts, alligators, can. If you like this crocodile fact, we have this awesome fun fact printed on our t-shirts, a crocodile can't stick its tongue out t-shirt. 48. Sea otters hold hands when they sleep so they don't drift away from each other. This is a method mostly used by a mother and her pup to prevent them from separating. Other than holding hands, they may also wrap themselves in kelp to keep from drifting away. 49. A small child could swim through the veins of a blue whale. If you consider how large a blue whale's heart is the size of a small car, it's no surprise that a small child, around 3-4 years old, could swim through the massive veins of a blue whale. 50. Bin Laden's death was announced on 1st of May 2011. Hitler's death was announced on 1st of May 1945. Both of these cruel leaders' deaths were announced on the same day. But due to the time difference, bin Laden actually died on May 2nd. The announcement was made in the US, which was hours enough ahead to still be May 1st.